Whoa, now what's happening, everybody? We're just a little bit late. We're 1 minute late. I'm still trying to get all these lights and stuff set up. But man, do I got a show for you guys today. Let me turn one more light on. Just turning one more light on. Oh man, hold up. We got a show for y'all today. What's happening? Y'all come on in the room. Get your pen and your paper ready. Get your pen and paper ready. We're going to get ready to launch this thing real quick. All right, with no more time or wasting, let's jump right off into this. Well, first of all, welcome to Plugged In, where I am RD Muhammad, your favorite info plug, where I am going to be dropping free game tonight. Now, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, trying to get everything lined up for you guys and making sure that we are very clear or very clearly can be heard. Now, here we go. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be showing you guys. Now, this is after I went to the post office today for another client and helping them reestablish their own credit. And doing credit repair was nothing that I personally set out to do. I didn't want to do it. But there were so many people who was wanting to start a business, and those who had strong desires to start a business, but their personal credit was suffering. And with a lot of clients who were going to the banks to open up their business bank accounts, some were choosing what we call high-risk businesses, and the bank itself was asking them to be a personal guarantor to their own business. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if a bank ever asks you to be a personal guarantor to your own business, which has its own EIN number, which is basically the business's social security number, and its own line of personal credit, when you choose a high-risk business, what that simply means is the bank has had several people in the past start a business like that. I'm sorry, I'm still putting all of my receipts and stuff to do my account. I still do my own accounting, y'all. Anyway, banks have had experiences with these businesses before, and they label them as high risk. So a lot of times the business is not really doing anything, and they know this. So what they do, they classify the business as high risk, and then they will make the business owner become a personal guarantor to their own business. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you should never be a personal guarantor to your own business. The credit is gauged different from your personal to your business. But if the business is dubbed high risk and that business gets in trouble on the financial end, then the bank wants you to back up any loss or any money that need to be repaid to the bank through your personal credit. And this is how it hits a lot of business owners in their personal credit, is because of the business. But so I got off into helping a lot of clients rebuild their personal credit. Now, this is based off of one, reestablishing and rebuilding my own credit, which at one time was a 540. Man, it was terrible. It was terrible. And I fell into that age-old saying, cash is king, and if I didn't have the cash to pay for it, I wasn't going to get it. That's not how you do business, ladies and gentlemen. Credit is king. Credit is king because you can leverage credit if you know how to play the game. If you know how to play the game, you can leverage credit because credit is not earned income. Let me say that one more time. Credit is not earned income. So what that also means is credit is non-taxable. When you know how to play the game, credit is non-taxable. taxable. Now, also, any money that is made off of that, because one, credit is a debt that you haven't paid yet. Now, in the world of business, we call it, you want to set up what they call net 30 accounts, net 45 accounts. I only know of one that's over a net 45 account, and that's when you're dealing with government. And that's because the government is slow on paying any of their debts and bills. But to the average small business and medium-sized business, you can most companies are going to have a net 30 account, which means you have credited the purchases, supplies, materials, whatever for the business, and you have 30 days to pay it off. So therefore, you haven't made any money off of that. So let's get right off into, here's the proof, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not knocking the hustle from anybody else out there who's doing credit repair, and that's their business. That's their business. And you can, there are a lot of people out there that's making a lot of money off of doing credit repair. Now, I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. Everybody can hear me well. Please drop a 1 in the comments if you can hear me very well. I'm not going to be for you long because I'm just going to give y'all this free game. Now, this $20. You're not going to pay me. This is absolute free game. You're going to take this $20 as opposed to paying. I know some credit repair specialists, they charge $59.99. Some charge $199.99. Some charge. I mean, you pretty much can charge anything that you want to, based on how much work. That's why they ask you to pull your credit report so they can see how much work they got to do. And so, but the magic number, ladies and gentlemen, the magic number in the world of credit is a 640 and above. A 640, you can finance a house. 640, you can finance a car. It's not great on the prices or your payments, but you are pretty much in a safe zone right there. So this is why I say if anybody's credit is under, now 660, you're sitting pretty good. That means you pay. You might have some other things on your credit that's causing it to be a little slow or make it look a little bit bad, but it's really not bad. You can get a lot of things done with a 660 and above. So now, when I first started learning how to do this, I paid somebody to fix and repair my credit. I didn't know a lot of the information. Now, let me say this right out the gate. Everything that I'm telling you guys can be verified, fact-checked through Google. This is not new information. It's information that's been out there forever. The game is free. The game is absolutely free. What you are paying repair specialists, credit repair specialists for is their time. And not just the information, but how quickly they can get you done. Now, again, when I first started doing this, I paid somebody to do my credit, paid them pretty good bit of money. And over time, there was, even after the credit was going up, I said, well, okay, I know what I'm doing now as far as credit is concerned. I know how to use it. I know how I understand how it works. So I don't need to keep paying somebody to monitor and watch my credit for me. I mean, I'm a grown man. I can do that on myself. I have discipline now. A lot of times what got a lot of us into trouble is we didn't have any financial discipline. And what that simply means, ladies and gentlemen, is we bought stuff that we couldn't afford, or we bought stuff and we kept buying stuff, and now we're so in debt that now we're working to pay off the debt. Now, here's something that I even teach my own daughter. When you buy something, one, if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. And even if you can buy it twice, you need to buy something that's going to make you money. Now, this is a part of one of my courses where I talk about other people's money pays for the lifestyle that I live. And ladies and gentlemen, you can do this as well. Other people's money pay for the lifestyle that we live. So when like for instance, now I learned after I bought the Jaguar. This was after my first book hit the bestsellers list, and Amazon cut that check. I reverted back to being ignorant. I bought that car for personal reasons. And sometimes through deceptive intelligence, we can deceive ourselves intellectually and justify why we just blew a whole bunch of money. Now, the reason why I bought that car was, one, it was my first foreign car. Some of you, especially in Gaston, y'all knew about the Jag. Y'all saw me in the Jag. And my deceptive intelligence told me that people will listen to me faster or better if they saw me pull up in a Jag than they would have saw me pull up into that 96 S10 pickup truck. That was the deceptive intelligence that I told myself. And then I said, oh, wait a minute. After I bought it and started having problems, that thing went into safe mode. The first time I went to Birmingham, I went to a comedy show at the Stardome, and it went into safe mode as soon as I hit St. Clair County. Now, those who are familiar with the Alabama area and coming up 59, I was driving up 59 at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday, and it went into safe mode as soon as I hit St. Clair County. Now, if you're familiar with safe mode on vehicles, ladies and gentlemen, that thing breaks all the way down to 35 to keep you from tearing up the car. Now, if you turn it off in safe mode, it's not going to cut back on until the whole entire system resets. So I knew not to turn it off, or I was going to be stuck. And plus, I had company with me. Very embarrassing, but it was more embarrassing to drive back from St. Clair County to Gaston, Alabama at 35 miles an hour on a major interstate, I-59. Yes. Took 2 hours, or a little over 2 hours at 35 miles an hour. 10 o'clock at night, we didn't get back to like something after 1. However, that killed that night. Y'all already know there wasn't nothing going down that night. So, but anywho, that was the deceptive intelligence that I told myself was to justify buying that car. Now, up and behold, when I moved to Florida and I bought my next, I don't know if Bentley is classified as import, but when I bought that Bentley, I bought the Bentley on a deal. I bought it on a real deal. It was 2021, and the Bentley was 2015, and I bought it for $70,000. It was a wrecked Bentley at that, GT Continental. Green on red. Some of you guys may have seen the pictures on my social media profile, because then I went back to being ignorant again and had to blast it on social media, show everybody in the world that I had bought a Bentley. But I was smarter because I didn't buy it for personal reasons this time. This is after I had got it back into business, started learning a lot about business, and I bought the car, instead of it being under my personal name, I bought it under my business name. Now, why is that important? That completely removed all taxations away from me. And 2, by making it a business company car, that allowed me to write off everything on that vehicle. Now, the IRS tax code says that, and I'm getting a little bit too far in the weeds, but I want to show you guys how to repair this credit. If it had not been for good credit, I wouldn't have been able to get that car and get it at a very good rate, as well as when I bought it bought the Bentley, I listed that Bentley on Turo. This is when I came up with the course of other people's money. Other people paid that car note every month up until COVID. COVID hit, it started slowing down. I sold the Bentley after I made the third payment out of my pocket because it wasn't getting rented as much. So it wasn't as attractive as it was when I first bought it. And COVID hit a lot of people's financial pockets to where they weren't spending it out. Now, the reason why I'm telling y'all this is because that's free game within itself. Never buy anything for yourself if it's not going to make you money. The IRS tax code says it has to be for at least 50% use of the business. I made it 100% use of the business. As long as I had that car, I only drove it 3 times. Right hand. Well, y'all, right hand. I only drove it 3 times. After the second time I drove it to get the oil change, it was bringing me the wrong kind of attention. I knew then that I was not going to drive that car for myself personally ever again. It brought the wrong type of friendship. It brought the wrong type of attraction from the opposite sex, because now everybody thinks that because I'm in a Bentley now that I got unlimited wealth. No. So I stopped driving it and I parked it. I paid somebody so I can park it, and where when somebody rented it, they can go there, pick it up, grab the keys, and go. Now, that, ladies and gentlemen, was a money move by itself. And like I said, up until COVID hit, because in the height days, that thing was rented out 20 days out of the month. 20 days out of the month, it was rented. Now, let me check my mics because a lot of people are jumping in and jumping out. So I want to make sure that everybody can hear. All right. So now with that being said, let's get right off into what we're talking about today, credit. Because if you're going to make a play like that, you definitely want to make sure that your personal credit is good and up to at least a 660. 640 you can get by. See, even a 620. 620 you can finance a house. Your interest rate is going to suck a little bit, but you still can get a house. So here's the play. And I'm going to show you guys. Now, again, I'm not knocking any credit repair person out there. That's their business, and that's how they make their money. So I'm going to give you guys a play of how you don't have to spend all of that money, hundreds of dollars, to a credit repair specialist. You can fix your credit yourself for as little as $20. Now, this is what y'all want to write down. First of all, you want to go to freecreditreport.com. And they're going to give you all 3 credit agencies. You can get all 3 credit agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. You can get all of those for $1. Now, that's your trial. For 7 days, $1, you got access to all 3 credit agencies, not bureaus. That's one of the first things you got to understand. There's only 1 credit bureau. There are 15 credit agencies. Most of us just know about the big 3. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. But there are 12 others behind that one, those 3. So first of all, those 3 pull their information from the other 12. Ladies and gentlemen, there's one agency that just governs your household appliances that you buy. That's one agency by itself. Your house reports from another agency. Your car reports from another agency. The big 3 just accumulates all of those different information from all of the lower 12, and then that's what they come up with your score. Now, but there's only 1 credit bureau that sets the precedence for everybody, and that's the FTCB. Now, there are a lot of people out here on social media telling you what to do or how they try to make it sound so easy. First thing first, you guys, I'm going to give you the real. You have to first, before you even fix your credit, first thing you need to do is fix what got you in bad credit in the first place. That's the first thing. You can fix your credit all day long, but if you haven't fixed the one thing that got you in the bad habits, you're going to repeat history again and again and again. Now, everything on your credit, ladies and gentlemen, ooh, can be dropped off if you know how to do the right information. Now, a lot of people, they know about credit. A lot of people haven't even seen what their credit report looks like. And they still try to go out and finance things. And then they already know they got bad credit, but they don't know what's all on it. They don't know what's all being reported. Listen, when I did my credit, I had my childhood home address being reported to my credit bureau or being reported to the credit agencies. And I haven't lived that long toward that house now. Nobody even lives on that block anymore. But it was still being reported on my credit. I didn't even know it was on there. So first thing you need to do is go to freecreditreport.com, pay that $1 trial. Now you got 7 days, but all you need to do is download all 3 credit reports and then cancel that subscription, because if you go past 7 days, they're going to hit your debit or your credit card for $39.99. Yes. So this is the first hack. Go to freecreditreport.com, download your credit reports from all 3 agencies, and then cancel that subscription immediately. Now, after you do that, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you're going to do next. And I'm going to show y'all step by step. We're not playing with it. So nobody's saying, oh, man, you gatekeeping and holding on to information. No, we're not gatekeeping it. First thing you want to do now, if you want this prompt, this is a very simple prompt, ladies and gentlemen. What you want to do is go to ChatGPT. A lot of people don't like AI for whatever reason. They haven't even used it. They just going by what they heard mostly. But ChatGPT is non-binary. It don't have a race. It doesn't have a sex. All it has is information. Now, in the prompts, what we call a prompt, you want to prompt it what to look for and what to do for you. So, and you guys can see I use chat for a lot, especially a lot of my content. I use it for a lot. And when you use it as much as I do, this is what's going to be into my book number 6, because I am taking all of the prompts and things that I found or that I use chat for, and then it's going to compile me another book. Now, here we go. So the prompt that you guys want to look at or want to use, and if you want this prompt, I will post it into the comment section so you can write it down or screenshot it and use it for yourself. Let's go to the comment section here. Comments, boom. All right, comment. Let me get my eyeballs. What's up, Magna Carta? Yes, the CFPB. That's the CFPB. Now, what you want to do here is I'm going to post this into the comment section and said, now this is all that it says, so you guys can know. So for those who know, now you do also have the FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collection Practices. There are several different acronyms that you can use or that people use. But what you mainly want to look at is have them use the U.S. codes. That is the first thing. You want them to use the U.S. codes. So yes, the CFPB, the FTCB. Then you also have, and I gave you guys the other ones too, the FCRA, the FDCPA. There are several. Now, the biggest one out there is the CFPB. That's the governing body. Now, in this prompt, it says, you are a credit repair expert. I will upload my credit report from each negative item. Generate an aggressive, legally compliant dispute letter using the strongest law. Cite specific violation in legal codes. prioritize them unverifiable, inaccurate, outdated, and incomplete information. To demand a permanent deletion letters should be to demand permanent deletion, letters should be professional, firm, and legally forceful. I posted that into the comments. This is what, let me send that so you guys know in the comments. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. You want to post, I think I did it twice. And we want to show this. Boom. Now, in that, this is what you were going to post to ChatGPT. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the remarkable part about this. It's going to print, and after you post this, make sure that you upload all 3 credit reports. Absolutely. And this is how fast chat is going to go. It's going to go in less than 2 minutes. Absolutely. I'm ready to help you craft aggressive, professional, and legally forcible dispute letters that will comply with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collection Practices, and related federal and state laws. Please go ahead and upload your credit report or the individual negative items you want to dispute. For each item, the following details are helpful. And then by you uploading the entire credit report, chat is going to analyze your credit. And then, boom. Well, see, you can see this is one of my clients where I uploaded them. I'm not going to put their personal business out there. But we uploaded this into that. And then, wow, thanks for uploading your TransUnion credit report based on contents of the report. As of May 26, 2025, here are some key observations. No open credits, foreclosed credit accounts and balances of $2,008, 1 closed installment account, 1 closed other account, no collections, no inquiries, no public records, bankruptcies, blah, 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 blah. To aggressively dispute, to generate all of this, names, creditors, and lenders, specific derogatory charge-off, late payments, account statuses, dates of delinquencies, or closures. Now, once it's going to ask you a series of questions. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? And you just say yes, 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 yes. And then finally, it's going to say, do you want us to print? I want you to print it up, finalize it, draft it up in 3 letters, specifically to each bureau, all of the inquiries, the incomplete information, the inaccurate reporting, and the unverifiable information. Now, make sure that you include your current address, your current cell phone number, and your current job. Now, you don't have to put the job on there. You definitely want to include the current cell phone number or your telephone number and the current address. A lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not update your address and phone number, those debts that have that phone number and address that you created it in originally, it's still going to report. That's the very first thing that's going to start dropping off your credit. The very first thing is going to drop off your credit. You guys can see, if you're just now tuning in, you can see the prompt. This is the prompt that you want to load up on ChatGPT. And ChatGPT, the AI technology, is going to draft you up 3 legally and use the USC codes that you can report to the credit bureau, and things are going to start dropping off your credit ASAP. Now, a lot of people, they still, a lot of clients, I try to tell this simple method to, and they don't understand the law. Well, the law, this is why we create the prompts. The AI knows the law. The AI technology knows the law. And the AI technology is going to draft you up 3 beautifully, professionally written letters, dispute letters. First thing that's going to fall off, old addresses that you don't live at anymore. That's inaccurate reporting. You don't live there anymore. Next thing going to fall off is old phone numbers. Your phone numbers are going to start falling off. The old phone, if your phone number is on your credit report that you do not have today, it's falling off in the first 30 days. Old addresses, old phone numbers, old jobs. A lot of people don't even know that jobs run your credit. They got your social security number. They run in your credit not to see if you owe anybody, but to see if you are an honest and trustworthy person. Especially a lot of these jobs to where you might have access to the company car or company accounts and things like that. They want to know if you are an honest person. And if you don't pay your bills, this is what I be telling a lot of people, man. I tell a lot of people, if you have bad credit, you are not an honest person. I'm sorry. This is how the world of business look at you. Because your debts are an honest debt. You opened up that debt. And for you not to pay for it for whatever reason, I don't care what that reason is viewed in the world of business as you are unreliable and you are not a truthful person. A lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, these organizations that we are part of, you need to see if that treasury or that treasurer or that secretary has good credit. I don't want anybody over my dues, my fees, or the church or the mosque or the synagogue, wherever you go. Y'all need to check and see if that person that got good credit, man. This is where you started seeing stuff about people stealing money from organizations. These people got bad credit. And if you got bad credit, you are not a trustworthy person. I don't care how good your intentions are. If you can't pay your own bills, you can't be trusted. You're a liar. Simple. You made that debt and you told them people that you was going to pay their money back and you didn't pay their money back knowing, and a lot of folks know that they ain't going to pay it back. If that was the case, you wouldn't be getting stuff repossessed. Period. Now, let's move on. So how to get all of those things removed? The prompt is the key. And this is the prompt that you guys are seeing on the screen right now. The prompt is the key. Now, one thing that's not on this is the very last question is, do you understand? You want to get confirmation from the AI that what you just uploaded, that they understand what you need the AI to do. You never ask the AI what to do. Never. You tell it what to do. That's the secret gem or the secret key to understanding how to use AI. You don't ask it, you tell it. And then the very last thing, you ask it to confirm that the AI understands what you are wanting it to do. After that, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to print you up 3 dispute letters, just like that. In 5 minutes. It ain't even going to take 5 minutes, depending on how bad your credit is. There's one client. Now, just to show you how this works. Well, I'm going to get to that part later because that's the secret key too. Once it prints out those dispute letters, you can review it, read it, make sure that it is touching on all of the keys that you wanted it to touch on, and then you sign it. Now, the very next thing you want to do is you want to send all 3 of those credit dispute letters off as certified mail. This is one that I just sent out today. These are 3. I don't know if you guys can see that. And this one here is Experium. This one is Equifax. And this is TransUnion. So the reason why we send these out in certified mail is because now somebody has to sign for these. Now, let me tell y'all the trick behind why we do this certified mail. When you look up, when you see all three credit agencies, their address, all of them are to a P.O. box. Ain't that tricky right there? Boy, that's that right there is game within game. Because let me tell y'all something. You can't apply for anything with credit with a P.O. box. You got to have a home address, a street address. You can't use a P.O. box applying for anything to be financed or on credit. But the three agencies themselves have P.O. boxes. So when you send it as a certified mail, now you can do registered mail. Registered mail is just pretty much for ease of mind. But certified mail does the same thing. So now here we are, $1 for the credit reports. That's on freecreditreport.com. That's $1. I told y'all $20. And then $6 and some change for each certified letter. So this is going to come out to $19 and some change, and then the $1 you spent to get the report. That's your $20, ladies and gentlemen. It don't cost you. Some people are out here spending hundreds of dollars. Now, again, I'm not knocking credit repair specialists because you are paying them for their time. The information, ladies and gentlemen, is free on the internet if you know how to read. Nothing that I'm telling you, right? Nothing that anything that you see on social media, none knowledge. This is all old knowledge. It's been out there forever. We just didn't know it. And this is what you're paying people for. You're paying people for stuff that you don't know. But I'm giving you the game on how to do it yourself. Save those hundreds of dollars, spend $20, and you're going to get the results back in the same 30 days as if you paid a repair specialist. Now, I'm going to tell y'all exactly how much spent, because this is the post office stamp where I sent the registered certified letters. Now, I mailed these out today. They're going to get there Thursday. And actually, it was $5.30 for one. What came out, you got to pay a 78-cent stamp. So the total price was $6.08 for each certified letter, which came up to $18.24 plus the $1 you spent on the freecreditreport.com. Now, I keep these because it's a tax write-off for me, because that's one of the businesses. Now, like I said at the top opening of this podcast, I'm getting out of the credit repair business because I never started out. I never wanted to start out doing credit repair. I started doing it because I had clients that was wanting to start a business and their credit was bad. Now, the reason why you want to fix your credit anyway, even if you do start a business, the reason why, now, once you do that, ladies and gentlemen, let me finish this up. And then, because this is not a long podcast, the reason why you want to fix your personal credit is because now, especially when you start in your own business, when you start your own business, now you guys know, let me close this out. Now you guys know how to fix your own credit. There is nothing stopping you from doing that. Again, right now, ladies and gentlemen, stop sharing. Boom. And I'm going to leave the prompt up here, because this prompt at the bottom of the screen right here, this prompt is what all you need to type into the AI technology. That's it. You type that prompt in, and it's going to, once you type the prompt in, you upload your 3 credit reports, and it's going to print you out the dispute letters to perfection. And it's going to cite all of the laws that the credit agencies are violating and why it should be removed. First two things first, you don't live at those addresses anymore. Gone. Second thing, you don't use that phone number anymore. Gone. You're not at that old job anymore. Gone. Now the next thing that's going to come off is any misspelled names. Even if they put a O instead of a D. If you use your middle initial that says D and it's written up as an O on your credit report, that's hitting you. That's going to come off. I had some things that was reporting to where my last name is M-A-D. And sometimes I had 5 sites that spelled it M-E-D. That's not my name. That's not my debt. Reporting. Gone. First 30 days. And if you guys scroll back through my content, man, this was a long time ago. My credit jumped 168 points in 30 days. No cap. It's in my content. Y'all scroll all the way back. Now it's over 5 years. So, but it's in there. When I first started doing this, and that allowed me, when I moved to Florida, that's what allowed me to get the Bentley. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how easy it is for you to fix your own credit. You don't have to pay nobody to do it. And then under the law, they have 30 days to drop all that stuff off. Or either drop it off or send you a response letter back. Now, if they do not drop it off after 30 days, then according to the laws of the Credit Bureau in DC, under the law of the Credit Bureau, if for every inaccurate report, you can charge them up to $10,000 until it comes off. That is law. A lot of us never knew that. A lot of us never knew that. And then you follow that up with another letter that's drafted by the AI, a little bit more forceful and pending legal litigation. Collection agencies coming off. Let me tell y'all why collection agencies, and this is, you want to answer those phone calls, ladies and gentlemen. You want to answer a collection agency company. Now I'm going to give y'all the next prompt to tell the collection agencies. Don't be ducking them folks' calls, man. Take the call, because here's what you're going to say to the collection agency, and then I'm going to tell you why. Number one, provide me the transfer of ownership. Provide me a copy of the transfer of ownership. A collection agency, ladies and gentlemen, is not the original debtor. That's not who you got the debt with. They are a collection company. Secondly, you want to tell them, all right, after they provide that, they can provide you with a copy. You ain't even going to get that far at really, because they're going to stop calling. Then you're going to say, provide me a copy of the original contract with my wet signature on it. They don't have that. They don't have it. And they're not going to provide you with the ownership transfer, because that ownership transfer is going to show you that they bought your debt for pennies on the dollar. So let's just say, for instance, you owed Ronnie Watkins for $17,000, and Ronnie Watkins charged off for it or wrote it off, or they repoed it, right? They repoed it. So that killed any debt that you owed Ronnie Watkins for. But they turned it over to a collection agency, and the collection agency bought up a whole bunch of bulk debts for pennies on the dollar. They probably bought that debt for $7,000 or $8,000, but they bought a whole bunch of them. And now, this is why if you ever listen to a collection agency, what they try to say is, well, you owe $17,000, but we can settle this right now for $8,000. Oh, when can we take out the first payment? The 15th of February? Because I don't know you. So I need to see the transfer of ownership to show that you own this debt. And I need to see all the paperwork attached to it. And I need to see the original wet copy. They will stop calling. Then nobody tell them to buy your debt. They did that on their own. But as long as you keep ducking the calls, they're going to keep hitting your credit report. So hit them with the law, they're going to stop reporting, and it's going to drop right off your credit report. And if it don't, once you send the dispute letter in, then when they verify that collection agency is a third party, see, that's inaccurate reporting, which is unlawful. They shouldn't have had access to your credit report because that's not who you owe the debt to. Y'all see how this credit game works? All of that stuff is going to start falling off. I don't care how old it is. I don't care if you really did create the debt. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's going to absolutely blow your mind. Y'all ain't going to believe it. But like I said, all this information is already out there. We just never knew how to access it. One reason why you didn't know how to access it was because you didn't know what to ask. We were never taught it in school. Our parents were never taught it in school, nor did our parents were privy to it. Let me tell you what you didn't know, and it's going to blow your mind. All of your debts have been paid. Ooh, the day you was born. I swear to God. All of your debts have been paid. This is why you have a straw man corporation that you didn't even know existed. You have a multi-million-dollar account in your name that you didn't even know existed. Let me sip my tea from my Mickey Mouse cup. I'm going to tell you how we know this. And then I'm going to tell you, you can go and research it for yourself. Did you notice, ladies and gentlemen, that all of your debts, any bill that comes in your name from whatever company, government, agency, whatever it is, your name always comes capitalized. That's the corporation that your parents signed over your original $1 million to back to the government when they signed for a Social Security card and a birth certificate. You had $1 million account that was set up and established and created in your name at birth. And when your parents, our parents, signed for a birth certificate and a Social Security card, that paperwork, which is the long form of your birth certificate, let me tell you, you are issued 3 certificates over the course of your life. One is the birth certificate, the short form. That says that you were born. Then you have a living certificate, the long form. This is the one that has your little baby feet and baby hands on it. That one went to the Federal Reserve. It's a certificate, a bond certificate. And then you're issued the third one the day that you die, which is your You guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, your death certificate. I told y'all didn't know it. I told you never knew it. So that birth certificate that you have in your possession, that's the shorty, the short form. You have to go through the court system to get the long one. You got to fill out what we call then a UCC1. Now, how do you know you got an account at the Federal Reserve with millions of dollars in it? How do you know that, Muhammad? I'm going to let y'all see right now. You can do this. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get off here. Hold on. Let me check the messages because somebody might have a question. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, you can type in any question in the comment. I'll get it. You can type any question in the comment, and I'm going to answer it for you. But let me show you how we know you have $1 million in the Federal Reserve. Well, I'm going to show you that you have a bank account in the Federal Reserve. How much money you have, I don't know. Depending on how old you are, that money has been flipping. And then we're going to get off into stop looking for Social Security. I know everybody's in an uproar about Social Security. Now, how does all of this tie into credit? I'm going to explain that to you. I got 5 minutes left. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I want you to do. Pull out your Social Security card. It's in your possession. And I want you to flip that thing over. And in the bottom left corner is a series of numbers. Now, in that series of numbers, what you're looking for is, all right, the very first one is an alphabet. It goes from A through L. A, B, C, D, E, F, so forth and so forth. Now, I want y'all to write this down because these are what the Federal Reserve offices are that your bond certificate is located in. If that first letter is an A, your bond certificate is in Boston. If it's B, New York. C, Philadelphia. D, Cleveland. E, Richmond, Virginia. F, Atlanta. G, Chicago. H, St. Louis. I, Minneapolis. J, Kansas City. J is Kansas City. K is Dallas. And if that number on the back of your Social Security card starts with an L, then your bond is in San Francisco. Now, luckily for me, for you guys, the info plug, I have the account numbers to each one of those Federal Reserve banks. Now, what you're going to do is you pull up Amazon. That's the easiest way to find out where your money is. And it's going to verify exactly what I'm telling you today. You want to go to Amazon. Go to the payment section on Amazon. And you want to add payment. So instead of adding a debit card or a credit card, you want to add a bank account. So, yes, Amazon can pull directly out of your bank. Now, depending on what number it is, because I have the numbers, the routing numbers to each one of those Federal Reserve banks, all you're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is add a 0 in front of your Social Security number. That is your account number. I have the routing numbers, and if you guys email me or DM me, I'll give you the routing number. And then you add a 0 in front of your Social Security number, and then boom, you let her rip, take a chip, you hit save, and then Amazon is going to tell you Federal Reserve of Chicago. And you're going to be like, what? This is where, let me show you how credit works. All of your debts have been paid out of your securities trust. And you know what the government does? They make you pay it back. Oh my God. It's not funny. It's not, I swear to God, it's not funny. I swear to God, it's not funny. But the whole entire world is upset and in a rigmarole about their Social Security being depleted when Social Security has been gone since 1981. Why y'all think they call it Reaganomics? Ronald Reagan, dubbed the greatest Republican president, Ronald Reagan started getting rid of y'all Social Security money in 1981. Don't take my word for it. Go back and research it for yourself. Social Security has been in trouble since 1981, and it's the biggest Ponzi scheme on the planet. Because those who are getting Social Security checks now, they're getting money from their grandchildren or their children. That's what a Ponzi scheme is. The first wave of investors, that money is gone. They started financing wars with the Social Security money. Why did they start doing that? And why was it such a great idea to do it? Because the people in 1981 weren't dead yet, and they weren't old enough to retire. So they started pulling the money out. And they said, well, we got time to pay it back. And ever since then, the United States has been getting involved in war after war after war, and that's where they borrow the money from. They don't borrow the money from the Federal Reserve. That's a lie. The Federal Reserve is not a banking institution. It's not the United States personal piggy bank. If you don't believe that, Google what is the function of the Federal Reserve. Most people don't even know what the function is. And they'll blame it that we get money from the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve don't even print the money. The U.S. Treasury Department prints the money. I know I'm losing some people. But this is where your credit is, because they make you pay back the money that the government has already paid. How do they do that? By getting you to divert the bill back to you by signing your name in lowercase letters. The first letter is capitalized, and then here's the killer that you didn't know. Signing any document in black ink means you're dead. So that deal, that contract is now done. Stop signing contracts under your name in black ink or blue ink. Red ink signifies that you are living. Some of us didn't know that. But our school system taught us to do that. Oh, only sign in black or blue ink. That means you're dead and the deal is over with. You just own that deal, that debt, and you diverted it back from the government back to yourself, and you said, I'm going to pay it. And then if you don't pay it, they hit your credit because the government is out of it. Your securities trust is free and clear because you diverted the debt back to yourself. It's what we don't know, ladies and gentlemen, that keeps us in bondage. Jesus even said that. Ye shall know the truth when you know the truth. The truth is the only thing that's going to make you free. Now, granted, he was talking to the Jews when he told them that. And this is why all of the international banks are owned by the Jewish people. Y'all thought that was coincidence that Greenspan, a Jew, was over the Federal Reserve? Even the new guy, the one that Donald Trump hates. You can take my word for it or research it for yourself. I don't care. I know I'm telling the truth. This is why I'm the info plug. I give y'all the information that you need in order for you to be successful. Take this prompt, ladies and gentlemen, the one right here. Write it down, screenshot it, do whatever you got to do. Upload that in the ChatGPT, and then upload your 3 credit reports, and then sit back and watch the magic happen. It's going to happen so fast. and then you paying somebody to repair your credit. Oh man, we'll have all of the letters drafted up and sent out for you and mailed for you. They're doing the same thing that you can do, and you just drop them $200 or whatever you pay them, and you can do the same thing for $20. 30 days later, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I guarantee, because I know what it did for me in my own personal world. You need to get to a 660. But you also, after you repair your credit, you need to start exercising some financial discipline and gain you some financial literacy. This is not a get out of jail free card to where you can start going back and doing the same thing that you did to get yourself in financial trouble in the first place. Now, if you start a business that's high risk, you can then co-sign and validate your own business. You shouldn't have to, but there are some people out there, like I said, they choose businesses that aren't money makers. So, and I'm going to give you all this last one, then we're going to get out of here. Three things you should consider when starting a business. And these are the only three things, because these are the three things that are money makers. If your business solves a problem, you got yourself a business. If your business eases somebody else's pain or hardship, you got yourself a business. And the third one is, if your business caters to the ego, you got yourself a guarantee. The ego business is going to make more money than the other two combined. What are you talking about, Muhammad? Anybody ever heard of Cialis? Anybody ever heard of the honey packs that Amazon made $1 billion with in 1 year? Just go to Amazon and Google honey pack. That was $1 billion market in 1 year. It's all ego. This is why y'all tuning to me, man. I give you the information that you need in order to help you be a little bit more successful. I'll see you guys on the next one, but just try it. Put it to work. Sit back, watch the magic happen. I'll holler at y'all later. Let me get out of here, y'all. Where am I? Get my theme music.